Jacques Chirac, the President of the French Republic, is here. Lionel Jospin, the Prime Minister of France, is here. 80,000 people are here. And France have announced an unchanged team. They've only conceded 1 goal in 5 matches. That was a penalty. So Aimé Jacquet has resisted the temptation to bring in the likes of Thierry Henry or David Trezeguet, although Christophe Dugarry is now fit to be considered as a substitute. France bidding to become the first host nation to reach the final of the World Cup for 20 years, since Argentina did so in 1978. As for Croatia, well, Blažević, who used to coach here in France at Nantes, was bold enough yesterday to announce his team. That is also unchanged. Coming after the 3-0 win over Germany, that's no surprise. 3 of his 11 play in Spain, 2 in Italy, 2 in England. You'll know those, of course. 2 more are home-based, 1 is in Germany, and number 7, Asanovic, is on his way to Greece. A truly international occasion. The semi-final of the World Cup being played in the country of Didier Deschamps and France, and with me is Trevor Brooking.
Well, I think we said last time the quarter-finals Germany were the favourites against Croatia, and it's the same this evening. France, expectancy there. A lot of people just assume that it'll be France-Brazil on Sunday, but the Croatians, can they really believe themselves that they can now go on and win the tournament? I think that's a big question this evening, and I think Karamber's selection in midfield instead of Henry suggests that certainly Aimé Jacquet still got that cautious approach. Let's see how the game unfolds.
Remember, France were beaten on penalties in Euro 96 in the semi-finals by a team of underdogs called the Czech Republic. Now there's Miroslav Blažević, the coach of Croatia. He has with him that gendarme's hat as a sign of respect for the French policeman who was put in a coma by German badly behaved German followers earlier in the World Cup, despite starting the competition all those years ago. And Croatia, who've come from nowhere, so to speak, in such a short time. That's Boban, number 10, who gets them going out to Simic.
Well, you didn't have to be a genius to work out it was going to be a tight match, but the French have been awful. That's their worst display, isn't it?
I'm disappointed. Not with Croatia, because you expected that they would settle for penalty kicks now. We've got men behind the ball, they've defended deep, not giving the French front men a chance. But France are playing a dangerous game because they can go and win the game. They haven't supported the front man at all. They haven't got men forward. They need somebody in the middle of the park like Vieira to come on and get forward, get past the front man. No support whatsoever. Guy Varche had a free kick, comes back off the goalkeeper, not a French player in sight. And I'll tell you what, it is dangerous because sometimes in football at this level, if you start slowly, to up the tempo is very, very difficult.
An overcautious display from France, do you think, Martin?
I do, Les.
Yeah.
I agree with Alan. That's exactly right. No, I don't mind you being overcautious. Honestly, I can understand the manager, believe it or not. I've never been in a semi-final of a World Cup, but I can understand his caution. At the end of it all, his performance he's not too bothered about. He's thinking at maybe 11:30 this evening, crowds shouting in the streets, they've got to get through. However, having said that, I agree with Alan, it's very dangerous because they're sitting back there, they're not getting men forward, and you never know, Croatia are getting just that bit of confidence up from thinking, hey, this is not just as bad as we thought it might be. They've got a wee chance themselves with Asanovic. At the end of it all, you never know. That, you know, the turning point of the game against Germany for Croatia was just the goal before half-time. I'm not sure that Croatia are capable of scoring that goal, but I would like to see France a wee bit more positive.
Well, Ali, you can have all the Michael Owens in the world, but to get to the World Cup final, you need a great defence and good penalty takers, it seems. I mean, they could go there like that tonight, couldn't they?
Quite
Can't
easily.
score a goal.
You wouldn't rule it out at this stage. I've been very disappointed in the French. I don't think they've been overcautious. I just think they've lacked 1 or 2 ideas. I think they've played with no width at all, with Zidane and Djorkaeff through the middle with Guy Varche. I thought when Karambo came off and Henry came on, I thought he might give it.
Marked by at least 3 defenders all the time, but you know, until France start to commit people forward and really try and win the game, then I think it's going to be stalemate. I think we're looking at golden goal, extra time, penalties a lot.
And that, of course, will be perfectly happy for the Croatians, won't it?
Well, they sat there for 25, 30 minutes. They had a look at France to see what they had, and they decided, well, they weren't really going to punish them. 1 or 2 half chances, nothing else. And then they themselves started to get forward, but really even Croatia, they don't get any support forward to the likes of Suker and Vlahovic, and until they themselves try and come out of their shells, we're not going to have a game here.
Even the fullbacks that have been particularly good generally for France in this tournament. Thuram and Lawrenson, even they've not really got forward, have they?
No, but I think Croatia have done very well in stopping them, certainly, and down the right and the left-hand side. They just put men in there and they say, well, you know, you're not going to get round the back of us, you're going to have to play through us. And it's like a funnel effect for Croatia. They just funnel everything through the middle. They've got loads of bodies there. They're saying, well, you're never going to score the perfect goal against us, which is exactly what France are trying to do. At least Zidane had a shot from 25 or 30 yards. You know, it's something that France have to do. They've got to create their own chances for themselves, because Croatia are going to give them nothing.
Okay, thanks very much, Mark. Well, Des, you know this is the sort of game Hansen loves.
You're right there, absolutely. It's the first time I've seen Lawrenson with a jacket on. I don't think it was his, incidentally, but
I just thought, for not having a lot to say, they recovered well, didn't they?
yeah, did rather well, didn't they? I thought they were going to do a weather report for the first couple of minutes. But there we are. So what do we think is going to happen now, then?
I think France have got to up the tempo, or at least try to anyway. And it might not need a change of personnel, it just needs a change of tactics. Get men forward, support Guy Varche, and make the chances, because if it goes to golden goals in extra time, then anything can happen.
Lottery time again, then, isn't it? When...
Do you know what? You know, in the extra time against Italy, or the golden goal time, as they call it, that was the time I actually thought France were most adventurous.
Yeah, they tried, didn't they?
I thought they really tried. It's almost as if they were frightened to death of penalties coming up, and I thought they really went for it. In fact, the two centre-halves, Blanc and Desailly, played more openly and more forward than they had done in previous occasions. In fact, left gaps at the back for Italy, who eventually didn't exploit them. And I think if they look at it like that, well, they might as well go for a 45-minute period here and give it something, because if they went out to a poor negative performance, for want of a better word. Absolutely.
They can win the game.
Me out of it. I think that
the French can win.
I did my best with the word for you. I thought negative was okay at the time. I could have done.
Throughout this tournament, you pulled me out of the quagmire, and I'm absolutely delighted with it.
Well, thank you very much for that. We'll go straight back now to John Motson for the second half. Trevor Brooking alongside him.
Well, just following up that conversation about how France could become more direct, more positive, more dangerous, I still have a feeling, Trevor, that we should also be aware that Dugarry could come on, because when they started their group matches, he did make a bit of difference up front, didn't he? I mean, he scored when he came on as a sub in the opening game, and then unfortunately he got an injury.
Well, he got a hamstring injury, which of course is one of those, 2 or 3 weeks. It's quite early for him to be considering coming back, but if he is going to play Dugarry, he's got to also play alongside another striker and keep Guivage on and not just do a straight swap, because the problem is Lineker is sort of floating around very deep, he's not getting into the game, and it does leave just that one striker isolated. Henry, when he came on, didn't give them the width. They've got the option of the left winger Diomede, Pires, who came on and did quite well in the extra time against Paraguay. Vieira perhaps as an attacking midfielder. They've got the options there. It's just the cautious approach of Aimé Jacquet, really, the manager. I think his selection from the start was one of caution, and you always knew Croatia were going to defend deep, and I think you had to get round the outside of them and get to the byline. They've never got a cross in from the byline, a decent cross.
Well, the same criticisms were levelled at Cesare Maldini, the Italian coach, when his team went out. The Italian press were particularly critical that he didn't commit a more attacking formation and relied on the quick counter through to Vieri. And it seems to me that caution has suddenly become the watchword again for certain coaches. Miroslav Blažević must be very pleased. You would never have thought when the tournament started that Croatia would be 0-0 in a semi-final, would you? But they are, and they're encouraging each other as the word goes around that they're still very much in the match. France will